Danke fürs Dasein. It's a huge pleasure having you. Thank you for taking the time and for being here, sharing the film that has made an incredible journey within the last 3 years, winning Best Screenplay in Cannes, being screened in festivals all over, had a theatric release that was really going well, was here in Vienna already. It's very nice to have it seen back on screen. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit, Céline's Vienna wrote the part for you. So there's a strong working relationship, a long working relationship also, as you were starring in Watermark in 2007, approaching this character and constructing this character. How did you go about this collaboration?
Okay, so thank you for the invitation to the cinema and thank you for making the talk. Céline and I had a very strong relationship, as you said, since 2006, because I played in Water Lilies, Céline's first movie, and then we had we had a lot of, I don't know how to translate, but it's a very strong relationship, and we talked also a lot about movies and about ideas, like on art and stuff, and we during the relationship we didn't want to work together because also I just want to have my own path and she wanted to have her own path, so it was a choice, so to say, to work nebeneinander, and but not together. And then, so when she offered me the part, she worked a lot on the screenplay. And when she offered me the part, we didn't really discuss about the movie. I was just very moved by the script, and I was right because it won the best screenplay, as you said. So, and then when it comes to collaboration, I guess I don't really talk a lot with Céline when I just had my own project within the movie. And there's I would say two major layers for me. First is that I had this project, this secret project, so to say, that is rather theoretical, and then the other layer is more sportive, and it comes to like the relationship I have to play, to the fact of playing, and this is rather sportive. So with Noémie Merlan, who is starring in the movie, I really think it's like I'm sorry, I'm confusing the language, but it's like boxing in a way. I think it's like that. So it's the pleasure of trying to surprise the partner and trying to I don't know how to say, to win the scene, even though it's like a collaboration, so to say. So voilà. So I would say those are the two layers. I'm sorry if I got confused. No. And so to say, when it comes to the theoretical project, it was more because it's a movie based on gaze. So I wanted to portray a character that would not be psychological unity, and that would not be like based on what is this person, as an entity, but rather as a perspective change. So it's like trying to portray like a movement that comes from that would start from being an object to being a subject. So I talked a lot about it. I'm sorry if I said it again, but that's what I did.
Thank you for having us.
I can explain it more, but I guess it's gonna.
I mean, you were just saying that gaze is super central, and it's about gaze, and it's about also reclaiming a gaze outside and inside the film in a way, like as the film within the canon of feminist filmmaking, but also the question of who's looking at whom, and then the other thing is the desire to be seen or being seen, and there's a lot of play with it, also in the beginning with the masks in the wind, and the fact that it takes a long, long time before we even see your face for the first time. And you were just saying you were having this journey from being an object, or not being an object, but from objectivity to subjectivity in a way, actually.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because it's so reduced and so tense, and it's so much about the face and the looks, how did you go about that? I mean, you said the play aspect, but
two things. Makes me think about something else what you said also. But no, it's also, the goal was not only theoretical, it was also to try to create new emotion. And so to craft this emotion, it's like would requires to hold back all the emotion within the scene, in the path of the character and the relationship with the character of Maya. So this was, the idea was to craft some very specific new emotion that would, like, let's say, explode for me, my character in the last scene. That is really that was really the acme of of the vivid part. And so when you said about that, it's really hold back the language, and that we are really, like, maybe a bit stiff in the body. I tried to, like, split the path in three major parts. And the first part would be actually, like, okay, to use the face as a mask, to use the face as something you can hide behind. And this is also because most of the time, I mean, you can experiment that as a woman, to be taken as an object, to be, so you can use the fact that that you are seeing this way, in a way, to resist. I'm sorry, because I'm not very precise in the way I speak, I'm sorry. But then it's a way to try to use what you get, the tool that you are not being seen as a tool of resistance. Okay, so this is what I tried to do, and when it comes to the body, I would really try to, like, have a very moving space, very, I don't know how to say that, but in straight lines and stuff, and also not to show any emotions, not to show anything actually. And so this is what I tried to do in the first part. And then, of course, in the second part, starting from Vous avez du tabac, for example, this is a moment where the mask is a bit going down, and that the emotion would come more fluently to the surface. So it's also like trying to work it as a painted skin, so to say. Like, it would be like, at the beginning, it would be like just one color, one aplat, we say in French, I'm sorry, I don't have the translation for that. And then trying to make the skin more and more alive. And of course, also it comes with the way you speak, with the way you, like, the speed of the language, and how you let the emotion go to the surface. So of course, so that was there would be, like, second part would be more like, okay, something is cracking. And the third part would be really, like, letting the emotion flow. So this was, I'm sorry.
No, totally. I mean, there's a lot of things in what you just said, because you said it was stiff, but I thought it wasn't stiff, but really tense. I mean, you have this moment throughout the film where you feel you can cut the air because everything is so tense, and it's actually through the reduction and through the fact that nothing is happening, or like just tiny gestures are happening, that it gets so tense and intense. And then, as you say, the cracks really feel like ruptures, where this intensity is not even, it doesn't show softly, but it really bursts out in a way, and then it's being held back again. So this whole aspect of suspense and also time was also something that I thought about, because in shooting, how did you create this extreme tension, which has a lot to do with control and with patience and pacing also.
How did we create the tension? I don't even know. No, No, I think it's a matter of being very precisely looked at.
Yeah.
And I think it's really more in the eyes of Céline, so to say. I mean, I would provide my idea, but I think the rhythm and what she's looking at is coming from her gaze, and I think she's very precise. It's not, I don't know, in the exchange of signal that we have during a scene, she would really pick the one that she think are relevant. And of course, this tension comes from not giving, for example, she was really, but Céline said that a lot, so I'm sorry that I'm just saying it again, but she would really, like, she wanted me not to smile, she wanted me not to give something, she wanted me to hold back. So I guess the tension comes from also the sign she picked to be accurate.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's a deeply feminist film on so many layers. As it evolves around gaze and the whole idea of portrait and what does it mean to like image and self-image and being seen, as we were just saying, but also the set and the crew and the fact that yeah, I mean it's a female story, it's a women's story, and it's also in a way I was thinking it's giving a body to people who've lived in the past and kind of embodying them in their narratives in a way, or maybe how is this whole aspect of also feminist filmmaking or a set like that important to you? How is it?
I think Céline was really much into trying to create something else than the eroticism of domination. She's really into creating a new, or trying to embody a new erotism, erotism of consent and equality, and this was actually her. I think this is the biggest move of the film when it comes to the political. I mean, all the stuff also. But what was the question?
I like your answer.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean you were just answering what is the feminist aspect that you see and how is that important to you, and you were just saying that the eroticism fact, and I mean the way we look at bodies and we see bodies and sex on screen.
It's really sad actually that the power of the erotism on the violence.
Yeah.
It's really sad. It goes. I'm sorry because I'm very blurry now, but this is. It justifies a lot of the violence that goes on in the world. So I guess it's really important to have other possibilities of thinking about the erotism. Yeah. And
No, sorry, I forgot.
I was wanting to say that it's not only thinking about it, but also finding language and finding body language and expressions for it on screen. About just new ways, no?
Yeah, and it's. I mean, we can also say that the film looks the way they are done, and also that to me it's really important that the sex scene in the movie doesn't involve, in the first place, our body. So it's not like, I mean, I've been playing in many movies and I've been performing in a lot of sex scenes, and it's always embarrassing, like very embarrassing, and it's always embarrassing because most of the time directors they just say like, okay, so now we just have sex. I'm like, okay, cool. So and this is, I mean, this it's fun in a way, but it's also it's also your body being in. I mean, having to assume or to like
Endure.
Yeah, like the responsibility of the sex in the whole. And this is
the responsibility, and also in a way a normalized or a normative idea of if someone says have sex, whatever that means, you know.
Maybe, of course, it means also always the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, so saying it. I'm saying it like basic, and also it embodies the relationship, the power, the hierarchy on the set, because it means like somebody can ask you to do this, and you have to do it. So the fact that the sex scene, for example, is with an idea, that is centered on the idea of the armpit and stuff, is really, I mean, it's to me, it says a lot about how the film was made and what it wants when it talks about also sexuality. And it's funny. It's full of, so to say, full of imagination, which actually sex life can also be. You know, it's not only. So well, I guess that's it. But no. No, I'm sorry. I'm a bit stressed.
Sorry, stressing you.
No, that's it. I just want to answer precisely, and I'm sorry that I'm not.
You are very much so. I'd like to open the conversation to the audience. We have an audience mic, so if you have a question, just raise your hand and feel free to share thoughts. Matthias.
Check, okay. Hi, first off, for the question, I just want to say that I thought it was a great performance. I think it's very hard to do such a nuanced performance, which starts so secluded in itself, and then opens up so small but still so expressive. So I thought that was great. And my question is, you said before that you worked first with Celine on Water Lilies.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to know how your working relationship on the first film to Portrait of a Lady on Fire, how that changed working together over after 12 years or so.
I would say it comes on verantwortung, responsibility, because it's when I played in Water Lilies, I just didn't. When I thought about playing, I didn't thought there were many ways to play. I thought it was like the obvious way to play. In French, we say jeu, which is also something that has to do with it's play, but it's also like something mechanical when there's like space in between. I don't know how to translate that. But so I think it's really interesting this in French, because it means also that playing is always a way to invent the rule you are playing, and there's not only one way to play. So to come back to the question, I would say when I first started with Céline, I had many things to rebuild first, and I thought there's just one way to play, which was also what I thought about life, so to say. And so I would say there is less responsibility in there, because I didn't really make the choice to play this way. I just played the way I thought it would be normal to play. And when after 12 or I don't know how many years, when I made my own career and also made my own path within the cinema world, and I made my own path within the Schauspielerei, and then so when I arrived on the set and when I read the script of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I made my own decision as an artist. And I made my decision when I tried to talk a little bit about like the choice I made. Even it sketches what I said, but it's because I wanted to embody an art within an art, which means I choose not to play like we say jouer juste. I don't know what's the translation.
Maybe play right or
right,
or
yeah. How would you look like it's real what you're doing? This is like the number one criterion when you're acting, and I think it's a bit a shame, because being real is already a construction. So trying to act as if it was not a construction has a political hintergrund. So I guess I was really much more interested in trying to, even though I would not say it this way when I made the movie, when I went Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I was more interested into trying not to play right, but trying to invent a
reality, or create different aspects of reality.
It's not reality actually. It's point of view, because that's what I think it's a shame to be based on reality. I think I'm sorry because it's blurred, but it's just to say like as if cinema would come after the reality, which is somehow we can say true, but it's not even the matter. It's like how powerful is the question. It's not is it true? And so I would say when we think like reality comes first and cinema or art comes after, it's like a natural consequence of what is there. And it's actually, I think we could think about it the other way around, to think like cinema or art, economy comes first and creates a certain kind of reality. So this was the difference, I guess. I really choose the way I play in Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I really choose what game I would play, and I choose to play the game of the gaze and this journey of, because this is an external journey in a way, but this is also an internal journey for, I think, for a lot of women, or a lot of women experience that you don't even think about yourself at the first person. You are even, I'm sorry if I don't use the right word, but you are colonized in your own emotion. So this journey that might seem like an external journey is actually, I think, for a lot of person and women, I would say, something that is really personal, and that I would say I experienced. So
Thank you. Is there another question?
Hello. This was the first time seeing the movie and I absolutely loved it. And my question is again about the acting. So in the final scene, I wanted to ask if the emotional development was planned or scripted in a way, or if it was completely improvised.
It was structured. I mean, we had like, I would think about it like a ski slalom. So Celine said like, okay, the door, you said that also door? Like when you, no, like you have to go this way, this way, this way, this way, and then just, I mean, you gotta do it now. So that's, that was the idea. So it was roughly crafted, and then after just have to go through it. So, and I think she wanted it to end like this, like with something that is open. I mean, most of Celine movies end like this. And then after, when it comes to this scene, when the way we shoot it, I think it's good that it stays a bit like secret. It's also better for everyone, I guess. And it's just a lot of concentration and just, of course, you have to be there. I don't know how to say it. So, but mostly it was roughly crafted this way.
Alright, thank you.
Welcome. And also, sorry, I'm just answering a little bit further, is that the emotion of this scene is also loaded because of like the holding back of the rest of the movie. So it's not only in this scene, it works in this scene because I and Celine and also Noemi in her own project, we choose to hold back before and to craft this emotion that is really new. I don't know. And I think this is one of the goals of the movie, and this is what is something very interesting also when it comes to Schauspielerei. Like try to dissociate your emotion as an actor or an actress to the emotion of the audience. Trying to, that's sorry, I just want to say that.
It's like also. Please.
Should I?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the movie, and thank you for your activism. Thank you for the interviews you gave at Mediapart, and it really helps. And about the movie, I wanted to ask you, since a lot of things happen, I mean, it's been 2 years or 3 years, but a lot of things happened in the world. Do you see anything about the movie differently now? Would you do anything differently?
Thanks for the comment. I guess I don't know how to answer the question. I guess what is really powerful in the movie is also the echo it has in the society. It's really like, it's really amazing. And I think this is that there is I guess some kind of community around it is really impressive. Is the thing I would say has changed, and of course we've been all, a lot of us through a very hard time lately, and I guess it's good to have this community, so it's kind of a shift in there. And when it comes to would I have done anything differently, I guess I would, but it's always how you it's a bit weird to say that, but I think it's good to be a bit ashamed of what you did. I think it's good because it means maybe it's something that you don't want to look like, but that is something that is really your energy, so I'm good with it. It's good, I cannot change it, I guess.
Yeah. There's more questions in front.
Yep.
And let's go back. Yeah, I mean, those conversations, and also, in parks and in time, they're also like part of this community building, and it's really good having you.
Thank you very much for your performance. I was wondering about the paintings. What happened to them after the movie? Do you still have one at home?
I don't have them. No, I don't. I have none. I guess they are somewhere, but I don't know really where. And just no, but it's Hélène Delmer, who's the painter, and I think Bénédicte Couvreur, who is the producer of the movie. She made an exhibition. I mean, they made an exhibition around the movie with the paintings of the movie, and it's better, I think, that this art around the movie is somewhere as a cultural. I mean, that can be like published, that can go in the society. I don't need to have it in my kitchen. It's better than it. That we can share it. No.
There was another question. What was that? Here. Front and then third row. What third row and then front?
Bravo Adèle et merci. Merci pour ce film et cette composition remarquable, vraiment. It would be interesting for me. Sorry, I have a question.
Everybody's a bit like it's okay.
Maybe if
Yeah, it comes. Where's the difference for you between acting on stage and acting in movies? And
Yeah.
do you prefer, at the moment, do you prefer anything?
Sorry, I do it so I can see you. If I prefer anything, I would say I would not split things like this. I would split things saying with whom you're working. And I would split, for example, it's a random way to explain it, but do you want to work with people who reveal the constructed gaze, or with people who want to naturalize it and to naturalize the order that is behind it? So I cannot really say a lot about this separation between the medium of live stage and cinema, because I guess there are differences. You can say like, oh yeah, you share immediately with the audience, and of course if there's one point where it's different is when it comes to the ego, because of course when you are when you're not making it on stage, it's really embarrassing, because you can feel it immediately. So I think when it comes to you working on the technique and stuff, it's really much more brutal on stage, because in the movie you have the editing and stuff that can help you. So that would be the thing I would say. But then when it comes to theater, I would not say about theater because now I'm working on a collaboration with Adèle, who's actually, if you want to come to see us, playing the pawn. I don't know when it is.
So you're premiering tomorrow?
Tomorrow and I'm selling stuff, but please come. I mean, you just, I think you will make your like on internet and stuff. But then, no, it's what I really like this work, and I think it's not working on theater. It's working with Giselle, who is actually a major artist. So, and we are very, when it comes to the work we are doing now, it's to me, it's really what I love about acting, because it's a mission between like theoretical research and the joy of acting and improvisation and stuff. So both those trends are in the play we're doing. So I guess, well, and now I really don't want to. I'm not really into doing any cinema right now because I was a bit. I'm a bit sick about this industry right now. I think it's really not to say that nobody's doing anything good. No, it's my own. But it's just like in the entire branche, I think it's a sad world now, and it's like all the revolution that could happen are like bremsed because of power stake and stuff, and this is really sad and makes me sick. So I don't want to be a part of that. And sorry.
Thank you.
I should stop saying this, sorry and stuff, but I just cannot. I wasn't about to say sorry.
Sorry for being sorry. No, don't be. We're all really happy to have you. There was another question in the third row and one in the fifth or sixth.
Yeah, thank you again for your activism, also and your clear words about certain issues. One thing I would be interested in is, because there's so much obscene that is not seen in the film, or in films in general, that here we can see, we talked about consent, we talked not so much about lesbian desire, but also about...
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, it's okay. Don't say sorry. But also about abortion, which I find quite a combination that is obscene, unseen in many ways. So I would be interested in what are you looking forward to do next? Because I can imagine in revolutionary thinking, in feminist thinking, that would be, there's a lot out there, things that should be on stage, a reality that can be built in arts and film and theater and so on.
I think it's, I mean, Giselle is here, so I'm like, watched. I hope I will not say shit right now, but, sorry. So, no, I think what we are interested in now is trying to index the frame of perception, the way that the perception is built, and how, which means like, to make it a bit clearer, it's like, what makes sense? When you look at something, what do you see? What do we see? What is important? What is silence? What is word? What is a meaning? Blah, blah, blah. All of this is very interesting, and in the play we are doing now, so just based on example, it's a bit more concrete, specific, but concrete. It's about, for example, like the relationship between the words, I mean some words, and feelings, for example. So to say, for example, in the play we're doing, we are making, there's one scene where we have two characters on stage, two persons on stage, two actresses, and there's a scene that is where my colleague, Henrietta Valberg, is just like coming to see towards me, saying very nice stuff, speaking very nicely, and it's all about like she is nice and I am very bad, and she loves me and it's very nice and blah blah blah. Okay, and in the same time, what you see on stage is actually two body language. First, like, and my body language would be like the really like terrified, would be like don't touch me, would be like just please go away, whatever, you know. So all this body language that is dominate and erased in a way by the definition that she gave from what is happening. And what you see is actually an aggression, and what you hear is actually love. And I think it's very interesting to work on that. It's very interesting to work on the difference, on the power of definition, and who defines what something means. You know, this is something I think is very important to do. I don't know if I made myself clear there, but it's something that I am very interested in working on, because it reveals, because the way people they define, when I say people, I would say people in charge, people in power. I'm saying this like states. They decide what is violent and what is not. They decide who is nice and who is not. And this is violent to me, because, for example, they would call violence, let's say if we talk about, for example, social issues. Let's say we talk about, we can speak about, I'm sorry, I'm speaking about France right now, but I mean, I guess it's the same everywhere under the capitalism, so I guess you can relate to that. It's just, it's just that you see, like, for example, there's a demonstration. People like, demonstrator, like, destroying stuff. I don't know, whatever, like, factory, whatever. This is shown by the media as, oh, you see, they are violent. But what is happening is that these people are demonstrating against the fact that, okay, they will have to work more for less. They will have like less protection. They will have, and this, all of this is not considered as violence. This is considered as normality.
Yeah.
So I guess it's very important to fight against that.
There was another question here in the back. And then here in the very middle, maybe you can raise your arm against.
Merci, je suis un grand fan. Thank you very much. So, talking about community, and cinema coming before reality, would you say that something has changed since you have been for a very long time in the show business? How much has changed? Did something change at all? What's your opinion on that? The way how we think.
Yeah, it's always the same, no? It's changing, but very, very, very slowly. And it's always like, oh, be patient, because the people in charge, the dominant, they are there to take care for you. You know what I mean? So I am rather angry right now, and I think it will not change. I think it will not change unless we fight. That's it. Because they don't want us to have more rights. When I say that, it's, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like the patriarchal order, racist patriarchal order, the capitalism, you know, like it's really all linked. I'm sorry to make it a bit like simple, but it's never coming from the upper society towards the ground. It comes because we fight. Like this is what happened when it comes to Me Too, for example, just saying this. Or when it comes to like social protection in France, okay, this is also, the workers got it. It was never given. So now, what I witness in the branch, and this is why also I decided not to do it anymore, because I'm a caution if I stay. I mean, me personally, I'm a caution to say like, yeah, it's getting better. No, it's not. No, it's not getting better. It's not at all. Like when it comes to sexual violence, it's a nightmare in France. It's a nightmare. I'm sorry, I don't want to like destroy the enthusiasm. I guess we should have enthusiasm with open eyes. And now it's just washing. It's a washing. It's a feminist washing. Okay, they will give like some bourgeois white feminism, some more right. Like it's like a very minority. You know what I mean? And I think not to destroy all enthusiasm, I think what happened is that we felt a little bit less lonely, and that we got in connection with one another, that we exchanged, that we thought that we exchanged thought and books and stuff like this, and action. That we are also, I say we, I'm sorry, I'm saying it like because I think we share something here, and so this has changed, I think, but not the will of the people in charge to change the world, because they don't want to do it. Look at what Frémaux did in the selection. Selected 3 women. It's like, this is changing. Like, no, it's not. Like in France, we just had like new minister that is coming for the new government. Like, it's like accused of rape. It's like, this is it. No? So no, let's not wait let's not have hope. Let's act. And I'm sorry to say things simply, but I'm sick about this idea that things are getting better, because they're not. And unless, well, and that's Audrey. Oh, she said, yeah, it's not getting better. Doesn't mean don't fight. It means don't think it's going to be easy. It's not from me.
Thank you. Let's take one last question.
Thank you so much. I have also the feeling that you're not simplifying things, but you're showing that they're way more complex and that we need to dig way more deeper to change things. And I found it really interesting when you spoke about acting as you having, as an actress, the space to be creative. And I was just wondering if you could tell us more about how you would wish to collaborate with directors, or how they can give the space also, or yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I've experienced both the way through my career to have to manage some space for my own creation within the movie, because I would not work in like the best intelligence with the people I'm working with. So except from Celine. But no, I'm sorry, I'm saying it because obviously no. But now I'm working with Adèle, who's a director in theater, and I think she really managed it very well, because what she did is not to, let's say, if I simplify it, it's like people who build a frame and people who build a language, and both can be interesting. But I think it's really building a language that is the most exciting for actors, because then you can learn to speak the language and have your own freedom in speaking it. And what is a language? A language is a way to découper, so it's like to split the world with different tools, and language is also like a way to split the world, and associate with a formal gesture or way to speak, or blah blah blah, whatever. I don't remember exactly the correct word. It's système de signes.
Yeah, the system of signs.
System of signs. Yeah. And that's, for example, when you speak about, I think really about the collaboration I'm having now, as you said, is the most interesting ever when it comes to that, because it's like how your freedom as an actor is absolutely not framed by the director, which doesn't mean that she is not inventing and that she is not staging it, because she's definitely staging it through the language she created. So this is the best collaboration, obviously.
Thank you.
So go watch it.
Yeah, no, sorry.
From tomorrow until 3 more. Like there's three performances, right? I think it's tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and Friday.
Okay, can I say something more? Just want to say about what is interesting. I don't know if people like are actors in the room there, or working in the cinema or in theater or in art in general. What I really love now is about trying to find, because I said about new emotion in the movie, and I said it's about holding back in this movie, a specific movie. But I think what is very interesting is to work on the rhythm and on the different rhythm that you would brought that would speak about your body as being built, as being a historical body in a historical moment, so to say, and trying to play with this. Like, for example, I would say trying to play with the rhythm is very interesting. I didn't do it, but I would like to do it. I started to confront a mechanical rhythm within the body and more like a biological rhythm. And I think the confrontation of those rhythms can produce like a very emotion that is very actual nowadays, because it means about like how, it's also about acting is also about what you imagine action is, what you imagine un décor is, a set, like what is an object actually, what is an object, what is un décor, you know what I mean? Sorry. And I think it's very interesting to stop to think that the border is between your body and the world, and trying to see the border within you between something that is alive and that is not. And I would say, to finish, what is, I think an emotion is something, it's very like, I think it is this, it's just my way to think, but it's actually something that happens when you go towards more life or less life, more knowledge or less knowledge. When I'm talking about knowledge, I'm talking about sensitivity and being more and more and more sensible. And this, I think the emotion comes there. So when I said, I think it's interesting to work on the collusion between a mechanical rhythm and a biological one, it's because there's something mechanic about like the capitalism, the way the society we're living in, like that makes us like less and less sensitive, to care less and less about others, to see less and less people, that it's actually people who are dying, that it's actually life who are sacrificed. And it's interesting to see how this mechanism can, and your life can fight. I don't know if I made myself clear. Sensitivity. So this collusion there, and to say, for the first question was about like, what's the difference between What a Lady Is and Portrait of a Lady on Fire? It's about responsibility, and I think, for example, and it's about defining what game do you want to play, and not only about following and playing good the game that is already thought before, and that has anyway, but it's trying to invent your game. Voilà. So I guess this is the game I would like to play now, or to think about now. Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time and taking the insights into the points and topics and exciting and
Thank you for the talk, and all of you for being there. It's really like it's really moving to see that there are so many people in the room for the movie.
Have a nice evening.
Yes.